Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's 12:30 on a Friday afternoon, and I'm in downtown Sydney. The weather's fantastic outside, nice and crisp and autumn, exactly how you'd like it. Clearly, it is my favourite time of year. But also, one of my favourite things is to talk about the jobs and employment market here in Australia. My name is Mark Smith. I am Group Managing Director of People2People in Australia and the UK, and Frog Recruitment in New Zealand. And this is P2P Live, where we talk everything employment and jobs across Australia every Friday afternoon at 12:30. Today, we have the stat of the week. Now, last week, I promised to actually delve into which jobs are being advertised the most from the Internet Vacancy Index. So we'll take a look at that. We've got two hot jobs for Australia. And of course, if you're a working holiday maker, maybe you're considering an opportunity in New Zealand or in the UK, we've got a job from both of those destinations. So stay tuned for that. And we'll be chatting to Joanna Middleton from our team here in Sydney, where she's going to be actually talking to us about what benefits people are looking for when they're seeking that new opportunity. So if you're a hiring manager and you're thinking, well, what do I need to offer to attract the best staff? Stay tuned for Joanna's section. So we then have, there's a lot to talk about, the Twitter poll from last week, and some very interesting results on that one as well. So much to do. Let's get into it. Here's this week's Stat of the Week. So as promised last week, we said that we would take a quick look at which vacancies by occupation groups were being advertised the most throughout Australia. So the Internet Vacancy Index is released by Job Skills Australia every month. And the numbers we're looking at here are for March 2023. Now, I know for those who are astute out there that the April numbers were released just this week. So we'll take a look at those next week, and I'll just give you a heads up. I went up again, so more vacancies have been listed. So here's the most largest increase month on month to March 2023. And the sectors that did experience the greatest increase are health and diagnostic and therapy professionals, so the health sector, automotive and engineering trades workers, which I thought was quite interesting, business, finance, human resources professionals, which is a lot of work where that People2People do across Australia, engineers topping out number 4, and the 5th was sports, travel, and personal service workers, which I thought was an interesting increase there, 6.5% up on the monthly change. The actual number of vacancies, though, you can see that the highest number was health, 580, then automotive, 540, then business, finance, HR, 520, then engineers, 320. So the total number of advertisements are on the right-hand side there. What about on a year-on-year basis? And some of these numbers are really big. So the annual change for medical practitioners and nurses are up 38.7%. That is enormous. Health, diagnostic and therapy professionals, 31%. Automotive in there again at 20%. Legal, social and welfare professionals, 23%. And carers and aides at 12.6%. So we've just seen that Don from LinkedIn says, is there any comments on sick leave or absenteeism? We've actually covered that before, Don. I know Don from many years ago. I used to work with Don in Queensland all those years ago. But sick leave and absenteeism, we can actually explore that next week. We looked at it on P2P Live UK, and there is some pretty profound numbers on the number of days lost on sick and absenteeism. So that's it for this week's stat of the week. Clearly, if you're in the health sector, lots of jobs out there at the moment.
Are you being paid the right salary? Are you paying your team the right salary? Are you meeting the expectations of the market to make sure you can get the best talent as part of your team? If you don't know the answer to those questions, you should get yourself a copy of the People2People and Frog Recruitment Market Report. Click on the link, request your copy, and we'll get one of our consultants to deliver it as soon as we can.
Here are the hot jobs of the week in Australia. So the first one is a customer service rep or specialist in Sydney, paying $32 to $35 an hour. Alia is the consultant you need to speak to in our Sydney team, 8270-9727 if you want to speak to her. Of course, you can click apply now on Facebook, LinkedIn and YouTube with the comments there. And if you have any questions about it, we can clearly see those comments as well. But what will you be doing in this role? You'll be the key person in connecting with members and handling calls through to the resolution of those queries, managing inbound call volume and processing members' insurance estimates and amendments. So you need to have good communication skills, particularly over the phone. Got to be motivated and strive for excellence in this particular role. I know the company. It's a good company. Get in touch with Alia on that one. Here's the next one. And this is a graduate accountant position from our Perth team, way across the Nullarbor there. And Amadine is the consultant that you need to speak to. Paying 55 plus super. It is an entry-level position there. So forecasting, analysing, reviewing financial statements, creating and managing financial models, assisting with valuations and acquisitions. So you've got to have some great communication skills and be degree qualified at a minimum with an accounting major. Amandine is the consultant that you need to speak to. 08 for WA 6160-6205 is her direct line. Or of course, just hit apply now and you can find out more about the job and apply directly from the P2P website. So that's our two hot jobs of the week in Australia. Find the job you love in England, Essex to be exact. We have a procurement role with a very, it's an interesting company, but what you'll need to have is tender experience, being able to negotiate price agreements and contracts, understand continuous improvement and purchasing policies and procedures. So you need to have experience in procurement with a specialisation, ideally in corporate category management, and led a team previously. £53,000 is the role. Procurement manager. Possibly you are returning home. You've been on your working holiday in Australia or New Zealand and you're ready to go home. Check out this particular role. Contact Hannah Scanlon in our London team, hannah.scanlon@peopletopeople.co.uk. Okay, here's the next opportunity we've got. This one is in New Zealand, and I think we've got a video for this one.
We're working with a healthcare company that's looking for 3 care coordinators to join their team for the next 3 months. This role is located in the CBD and it is paying $26 to $27 an hour plus 8% holiday pay depending on experience. It is a 40-hour week role with normal business hours from 8:30 to 5:30 p.m. and they are looking for someone who has potentially some scheduling and rostering experience as well as some administration experience, and also someone who enjoys talking to new people and is able to hold their ground when needed. If you think this is a role for you, please get in touch below.
Okay, good afternoon, Joanna Middleton.
Hi, Mark, how are you?
I'm very well indeed. Welcome to P2P Live. Now, I think the title there said perk session. That is not what we are talking about. What we're talking about today is what benefits that people are actually looking for when they're out there in the marketplace. Now, I think if you're a hiring manager and you're trying to attract talent, you do need to know what they're looking for. So, Joe, what are they after these days?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've recently released our annual market and salary report. This year, the report delves into the future of recruitment, job seeker expectations, and the most desired employee benefits of 2023. So the top 3 benefits, that are the highest priority for job seekers are learning and development, flexibility, packages, and allowances. So with learning and development, it's emerged as the new number one priority for candidates, with 79% of job seekers wanting career development and training. Also, the opportunity to progress and development through their roles in their companies. And this is ranked a higher priority than remuneration. So that's quite interesting. Flexibility is still a very high priority in 2023, with 76% of job seekers wanting flexibility in working hours and 71% flexibility in working location, so work from home. In terms of package and allowances, surprisingly, Mark, 50% of job seekers have actually ranked insurances as a top priority in packages and allowances. And are becoming more, so packages and allowances are becoming more important to employees because it directly impacts the overall income and the quality of life.
Yeah, wow. So some really interesting stats there, particularly around the insurances, like in terms of financial rewards. I had a bit of a debate with somebody down the pub the other day. I'm known to go to the pub. And we were talking about, so clearly if somebody's watching this, by the way, and you're in New Zealand and you'd like to go to the pub, Jacob Mills, the man behind the scenes, he is here on P2P Live. He's an Aucklander. Mount Wellington pub. That's where you'll catch up with Jacob. Anyway, so I always get distracted talking about Jacob and where he goes to the pub. But the debate that I was having was that people were often confusing like career progression. They were wanting career progression as a way for them to secure a pay rise. So they think that, well, if I'm going to earn more money, I need to progress my career. So that when they go out into the marketplace, what they're looking for is career progression, which ultimately leads to a pay rise. What do you think about that? What's your view on it, Jo?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm finding a lot of candidates have come through last year asking for that remuneration package, and now they're coming back into the market asking for the progression because it's just not as fulfilling, I guess. The money's still there, but progression and development is always going to be a lot more fulfilling. Yes,
indeed, of course. So, and now you're in our Sydney team. So, whilst I've got you, how's the market in Sydney right now?
The market is moving quite quickly. We're finding that candidates do still have a lot of offers on the table. The market is stabilising a lot in comparison to what it was at the end of last year as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. We had the Internet Vacancy Index on last week, and it's basically flattening out. It's not declining. It's not smashing through any new records, but it's a very steady and a good market for job seekers right now. Yes. So if somebody wanted to have a chat to you then to find out more about benefits or just getting or entering into the marketplace right now, how would they get in touch with you, Jo?
Yeah, great. So you can connect with me on LinkedIn. My name's Joanna Middleton. Also, my direct line is 0282709760. Or I think Jacob had just popped up my email as well, joanna@people2people.com.au.
Fantastic. Great. All right. Well, great to have you on P2P Live. Hopefully we'll see you again sometime soon. But thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, all right. So the last thing we need to do today is have a look at the Twitter poll results from last week, and they're interesting. So here's the results from last week. So those who recently moved to Australia for work, what was the most appealing aspect of it? So why did you come to Australia? Well, 44% said, well, it was all about the money. But I think the most interesting part about this was that it was other things that were appealing about living and working in Australia. Not really surprised. I mean, what I was surprised about was that it was solid 44% was all about getting more money into your pay packet. Interestingly, 8% said lower cost of living. I think there's a few people around the traps right now who are saying lower cost of living than what we've got here. I'd be surprised. And 5.8% right on Jo's comments there about career progression offered by taking an opportunity in Australia. So here's next week's question, and you can respond to these on LinkedIn or on our Twitter at People2People. We'd love to have your response. So for those who moved from a temporary role into a full-time permanent position over the last year, what was your reason for that change? So moving from temp to perm, what was the reason for that change? Last week, we spoke to Jess from our Adelaide office about why the important reasons why people chose a permanent role, possibly with a change in salary over a contract, so you get less money, but you get other things. What about you? If you've changed from a temp role to a perm job, why? More job security, better career progression, or something else? Pop it in the comments on our Twitter or LinkedIn. That's it, everybody. Thanks for joining us for P2P Live this week. We'll do it all again next week at 12:30. We'll see you then.